Alright, we're back with another unboxing video. This time we are doing War of the Ring. This is the second edition. The first edition was put out, I believe, by Fantasy Flight Games. This one is by Ares. What they've done is they've gone through some of the rules, they've tightened things up, they've adjusted the board slightly. They've tried to look at a lot of the complaints that the customers had or buyers of the first game had and come up with ways to solve many of those. So we're going to unbox it and show you what we've got. War of the Ring is a strategy game, mainly for 2 players, though you can do 4 players. It is Lord of the Rings. The map is Middle Earth, and you are either the good or the bad. The good is trying to either dunk the ring or score a military victory with 4 victory points, which is sieging and taking cities. The bad side, the forces of Mordor, are either trying to destroy the ring bearer or get 10 victory points because they have a much larger force. They have to do more sieging, more destruction. So we have an instruction manual, nice colored pictures, decent size, looking at 45 pages with a few extra rules, things like that. Highly recommended to read this because there are a lot of rules. There's a lot of little gimmicks that you have to pay attention to when you siege, how many dice you roll, when you roll them, things like that. So very important to read that. That'll give me some great reading time. We also have player aids. That's excellent to have. So you can give your opponent one of these. You've got the game turn, resolving battles. On the other side you have what your dice will do, which is also a really cool mechanic of this game. On your turn you'll roll dice, and with those, just kill it.
Keep going.
Oh.
Perils of working in a game store.
Yes. So you've got dice that you'll roll on your turn. You roll the dice. Depending on what the dice show, that's what commands you can give. So you'll have things you can do with your army or things you can do with the fellowship, and it's kind of like a little bit of a random thing, a little bit of a chaos factor, because you might not get the commands that you're looking for. So we've got some stuff to punch out. Not a ton, though. Kind of surprising. I mean, this was originally a Fantasy Flight game, and you only have, I think, 1 sheet of stuff to punch out. That's kind of surprising. Then you have the board, which is actually 2 boards to make it work. I'm going to open one of them. This is a big game. You're going to need a decent sized table. So you can see that is half of the board. So we have a lot of the stuff that you come to recognize from Lord of the Rings. We've got the Shire. We've got is it Orthanc? Orthanc, I may be mispronouncing that. Forgive me, Lord of the Rings fans. Bree, Grey Havens. So you've got a lot of recognized locations from Lord of the Rings. And then again, just another one.
It's a pretty thick board too. Looks pretty sturdy.
Yeah, very, very sturdy. This stuff should not be falling apart on you at all. And there you go. You've got Mount Doom, Minas Morgul. Really well done. I'm very impressed with the look of it. The style is very nice. We've got dice, which is just regular 6-sided dice, though the ones are really big ones. That's a 1.
Cool.
You have the Free People's dice and the Forces of Evil dice. These are the dice that I was referencing just a moment ago. These do not have your normal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You'll see here that we have different icons on them, and these different icons will give you the options on your turn. So
and so the forces of good are going to have a completely different set of icons.
Yes, forces of good will have some that are the same because there's some things that both sides can do. Like there is a sword. I think there was a sword on the evil side as well. So you've got some shapes that are the same, some icons that are the same, and some that are different. So pretty cool stuff there. You have your cards. Each player gets a deck of cards, good side and bad side. These cards are really cool because if you understand Lord of the Rings and the stories, then these cards actually reference those situations and events throughout the story. So you can put Gandalf the Grey into the woods and turn him into Gandalf the White with one of the cards. You can play a Balrog card, I believe, in the Mines of Moria and things like that. So these cards are really cool because not only are they affecting what happens in the game, there's a ton of flavor to them. And many of the cards actually have two options on them, so you can play the card with one type of benefit or another type of benefit. Great opportunity cost, risk reward, all of that stuff's involved. Then finally you have the coolest stuff in here, and that is the minis. 205 total minis. If you want to paint them, have at it. I don't plan to. You've got good guys, bad guys. Inside the good guys you have a number of different types. Let's see what we can find here. We've got, looks like
Riders of Rohan, perhaps?
Possibly. And this is where there is one complaint that's still outstanding with this game. And that is that the minis look a lot alike. And it's difficult to tell the difference between them. For example, this is one type of mini. This is another type. Now yes, one has a bow and one has a spear. But from a distance, and when you have them in mass quantities on the board, that may be difficult to see. So a recommendation that many people have is to paint them. Now I'm not suggesting that you have to go out and paint every little detail. Consider going and getting a couple cans of spray paint, different colors, spray painting them different colors, or consider just painting the bases so that you keep the blue, which shows, hey, they're a good guy, but you can see that they are a green base instead of a brown base. We have elves, I believe. We have armies of Gondor, I believe. Is that right? Yeah. We have other elves. Put those there. And again, we just have tons of fellas in here. Oh yeah, see, here's another one. This is a rider of Rohan. You can tell because his shield has the little horse there. But tell me how easily it is to note the difference between these when, let's say, I've got them back here. So it's kind of hard to tell the difference. So that complaint was there. The designers did speak to it. They said we just couldn't make it work and actually keep the price affordable for this game. And I respect that. I understand. You're always going to have limitations. If you want everything, go buy the collector's edition, which is going on eBay for about $2,000. So the bad guys, you've got your big elephants. You've got orcs, it looks like here. You've got just huge beasts. Goblin riders. So tons of options here that you'll be mustering into your armies and then sending them out to destroy the free people. You've got the ability to run leaders, which are represented, I think, by some of these gray guys. But the ones that are probably the coolest are the race. You've got the ring race riding the... I can't remember the name of the creatures. Somebody can remind me of what the name of these flying things are. These, I think, have been changed. The originals were, the wings were up. What would happen is you would set it down and they were so top heavy they just keep falling over. So people were putting pennies and nickels and other coins on the bottom just to keep them seated correctly. They've, I think, adjusted that, best I can tell looking through here, which is a good choice. Also got dwarves. can't have Lord of the Rings without some dwarves. And then finally, you have the characters of Lord of the Rings, the ones that everybody remembers and roots for or roots against. So you've got Gimli, or one of the hobbits, Legolas, and of course Frodo and Sam. They always go together, so they're actually just one instead of separate. You can get Gandalf here, and some of the big bad nasties.
The detail on these is actually quite impressive.
Yes, it is. And if you consider doing just the spray paint and doing like a solid color, consider coming back in with a wash or some kind of an ink or something just to bring out the details. Because with so much detail, that's really all you're going to need to do.
Even a light dry brush.
Yeah, or a light dry brush.
Would definitely pick out a lot of those details.
I think they're Boromir and Saruman, excuse me.
Saruman.
Another one of the hobbits. And then finally, I think that is the king there, the Lich King kind of thing. Ringwraith King. This, I believe, is actually the mouth of Sauron.
Okay.
On his horse. So that's the game.
So not to stray too far from unboxing and into review, is this basically just Middle-earth Risk, or is there more to the game than that?
Good question. I would say there is more to it than that, because the dice definitely make a difference. You're rolling these dice. It is definitely a strategy game and not a tactics game. There are some people that have wondered why this is so big. So you're needing to think macro. You're not looking at particular tactics of things. Having not played Lord of the Rings Risk, it's hard to say whether it's Risk or not. But I'll tell you that Lord of the Rings Risk is on a smaller board and with a lot of smaller units and blocks and things. Lord of the Rings Risk does not have all of this. So I think it's definitely worth the price. Make sure you set aside a good amount of time to play. It is not a short game, but who wants this to be a short game? This is supposed to be a big, long, drawn-out battle between the forces of good and forces of evil.
Can we see the evil dice one more time?
Absolutely.
One thing I wanted to note here especially is that these dice are engraved, which is extra nice because if you think about some of the older games like Battle Lore, for example, that basically had decals or paint that would just rub off after a few games, these appear to be a lot more durable, definitely going to hold up better through a lot of extended usage.
Oh, yes.
So very cool, very high quality stuff, a nice showing from Ares, definitely.
Absolutely.
I consider Fantasy Flight to be pretty much the hallmark of quality components, and this is no slouch either, definitely.
Fully agree.
All right, cool. Well, thanks, Jeremy.
Thank you.